What's going on, everybody? Today I will be changing out the brake booster on my 2002 Cadillac Escalade. Alright, O2 Escalade, brake booster, pedals going to the floor. It's really spongy. This is it. It is vacuum operated. Some of these trucks do come with a hydro boost, which is operated off of the power steering, I believe. You will be able to tell the difference. This is the vacuum operated brake booster, of course, that looks like a drum or a bell, whatever you want to call it. And then the hydro boost looks like this. It operates off of the power steering pump, I believe. I don't have any experience with that. I don't have a definitive answer on what trucks come with this unit or why they come like that. So all I can do is just get straight into this install. Maybe if you guys know the answer, just leave it in the comments. So if your brake booster sounds like that, of course it's going bad. So to get it out, there are 4 bolts on the inside. They are 15 millimeters. There's one right here, one above it, one right there, and then there's another one up here. They're all pretty easy to get to, especially in this truck. And then there's a clip holding this little rod onto the brake pedal. We need to get that off. You need a flat head. So it's pretty easy. You want to make sure you face it either directly up or straight down, because the brake pedal switch won't allow for it to come out sideways. But once you have that off, you can now remove the rod coming out of the brake booster. That electrical connection, this little white block, it slides right off. All right, with that off, you can now move the brake pedal up and down, which will make it way easier to get to these 15 millimeter bolts. I believe they might be Loctited on. I know the ones on the outside were, so you might need a little bit of strength, but I got it with a 3/8 drive, so you should be able to as well. So a tip for removing these bolts, I would start off on the bottom left, move up to the top left, go to the top right, and then the bottom right is the one that is going to be an issue, because you need a deep socket, but this bar that's next to the brake pedal is in the way. When that socket backs out, it's gonna hit that and you won't be able to remove it. So what you want to do is get all the other bolts out so that the brake booster leans forward, and when you take off that bolt, it'll just slide out front instead of backing that bolt into that bar, if you understand me. All right, so we're gonna get this and pull on this, and you'll probably hear air come out. Boom. Okay, here in the engine bay, we're gonna remove these two 15 millimeters and get the master cylinder off of the brake booster. You do not have to open the brake lines. The master cylinder will just move out of the way. The brake booster will come out. These are a little bit harder for me to get off. Like I said earlier, they had thread locker on them, so I had to go up to a 1/2 inch. On the other side, there's not a lot of room for a ratchet to get in there with a socket, so I just used a ratchet wrench, 15 ratchet wrench. Once I got those 2 bolts off, I was now able to remove the master cylinder from the brake booster. Like I said earlier, the master cylinder is sealed in itself. The brake fluid is not, it does not go into the brake booster. The brake booster is also its own thing sealed. So the back of this just has a rod that comes out of the brake booster that pushes against the back of the master cylinder. So when I removed the master cylinder, I had to push it towards the motor. So when I did that, I had to remove that electrical connection going into it. You want to be careful. Of course, you don't want to bend any brake lines or anything, but if you don't want to open up the brake lines and have to bleed and stuff, this is the best way to do it. Just make sure you're careful. Make sure you're keeping an eye on the master cylinder. Of course, you want to compare the old one to the new one. Make sure everything looks the same. The new one comes with the check valve in it already, so I just swapped that out to the new hose. Make sure that the rod coming out looks exactly the same. That's the same thing. This one just comes with different bolts. Barely pushed down on this one. It already built up some pressure now, but yeah, this one, look. I don't think that was supposed to fall out. Here's the new check valve. They look the same. I don't know if they're different inside. I just went ahead and replaced it while the brake booster was out. There's no difference with it in. It's still easy. Getting the brake booster back in is pretty easy. You just want to make sure that the rod goes through and make sure that the hole for the check valve is on the left towards the motor. Same thing with the master cylinder, just move it out of the way and just take your time. From here on out, it's pretty much reverse. Make sure you plug that plug back in, put the bolts back on, and make sure you put that check valve back into the brake booster. As far as torque specs, I'm not sure. There was a lot of different information, and thread locker, if you want to do it, put it on there. I realized that my issue might have not been the brake booster. This cap wasn't very tight. As you can see, the brake fluid coming out of there. The rubber wasn't the issue. It was the brake cap itself, or the master cylinder cap itself. I went and got a new one, and it went on there pretty tight. So I'm probably gonna have to bleed my brakes. I think the brake fluid absorbed a lot of moisture because of that cap. But I know that one probably has to be tightened first, and then the top, then boom. You want to make sure you put the brake push rod in between the brake switch, and then put that back on. It's pretty easy. And then of course put the clip back on. My advice is to turn it sideways once it's on, so that if it does try to pop out, it won't be able to come off like so. There's no noise. Went ahead, turned on the car and drove the car, make sure everything is safe. But thank you guys for watching. See you guys on the next one.